So the very first thing I'm gonna do before we introduce all our ingredients is I'm gonna start heating my pan up. So we're at about a high medium heat here, right in the middle of the two of them. I'm gonna let my pan start heating. So this is the red curry paste. Let me switch over to this camera. So this is the red curry paste that came in the box. Really great curry paste. This one actually does not have shrimp in it. Most red curry paste you see, it has shrimp in it. So if you're using this one and you want to put tofu or something else in it, this is going to be vegan all the way through. The coconut milk that goes into it is vegan, onions, all those ingredients. Until you put the protein in there, depending on what the protein is, this will be vegan all the way through. If you go get red curry paste from your grocery store or your local market, always look at the ingredients on the back, because that's where you'll see where the shrimp is in the curry paste. Yellow curry paste itself, it never has shrimp in it. That's the one thing about yellow curry paste. Let's go ahead and throw our onions in, and then we can talk a little bit more about curry paste. So my pan's hot. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in here. So you don't want to put too much oil, or else when your curry's finished, you're gonna have a lot of oil on top of it. What I'm doing is I'm just really coating. Oh shoot, I didn't switch the camera angle. There we go. So what we're doing is we're just putting enough to really coat the bottom. We got some nice heat going there. We're gonna throw our onions in. And then I'm just gonna stir them around, make sure they all get coated with oil. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna let these soften up for about 10 minutes. We don't really want to put a ton of caramelization on them. Caramelization is gonna be color, so you'll start to see like golden brown. That's when you're starting to get caramelization on them. Really what we're trying to do right now is just soften them up. So we're gonna let that go for a minute. So the three curries that you're gonna see a lot are going to be green curry paste, red curry paste, and yellow curry paste. So the green curry paste is going to come from younger chilies. The green chilies, that's going to be the spiciest one out of those three that you're going to run into. The green curry paste tends to be much sweeter. The red curry paste is a little bit older chili. That one's going to be more savory. It still has some spiciness to it. And then the yellow curry paste is an older chili. And that one, in my opinion, is pretty sweet too. The green and the red typically come with shrimp in them. So just check the labels of your curries if you want to make vegan or vegetarian. Just make sure you read your ingredients on your curries when you get them. So our onions are starting to go. I'm just going to keep stirring them so we don't get too much color on them right now. So I'm going to just scoop this over so I can show you guys the sachet. All right. So these are our aromatics that we're going to be putting into our curry. We have lemongrass, which I've smashed. When you get lemongrass from your market, you want to be really careful with pulling off the outside layers of it, and then making sure to rinse it really well. Lemongrass tends to be very sandy. It's grown in sand, so you'll get a lot of sand in between the layers of it. So what I like to do is I'll peel off the discolored outside layers. I'll give it a nice smash. I use my knife to smash it. It's pretty dense. You can use a pan or whatever works best for you. So I smash it. We have ginger. Ginger needs to get washed really well also. The outside can be very dirty. So we have some smashed ginger here, garlic. The other ingredients in the recipe we had were macroot lime leaves. Those are they're much harder to find in your specialty markets, and then galangal, which is pretty hard to find as well. For today, we're not going to put those in there. So these are aromatics. When you get curry paste, it has all of these things in it already. Um, what you do is you're adding these in because you really want to have the aromatics come through on your curry. You want to taste that lemongrass. You want to taste the ginger and the garlic and the lime leaves. So I like to put these in to add the extra flavor. So what I do is I get what we have here. This is a soup sock, basically. It's cheesecloth. So I'll take my aromatics. You see the onions in the back end? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go into my cheesecloth here. Load it up. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna just tie a nice knot. What this does is it makes sure none of my aromatics come out into my curry. So if you go to Thailand, my wife and I got to go for our honeymoon. It was awesome. They leave all this stuff in the curry. So when you go to Thailand, you're gonna find big pieces of lemongrass in your curry. You're gonna get those big pieces of ginger. Personally, for myself, I don't like chewing on lemongrass, so I like to put them in the sachets. So that after I've really imparted those flavors, I can just take this out very easily. I don't have to go through and pick out small pieces. It's really simple. You get your flavors. So what we're gonna do is now that we have our sachet will go in here with our onions. And we're just gonna start sauteing with this. Let me pull this back out. Get up close here. So you can see our onions are starting to get some color on them. I'm gonna move them around so we don't get too much color. They're really starting to soften up. Our sachet is in there. Everything in the sachet is starting to get toasted. You'll really start, once it starts heating up, the sachet does, with this oil we have with our onions, you're gonna smell all those aromatics coming through your kitchen. It's awesome. I love it. Nothing is more vibrant than just all these aromatics. Awesome. So we have our aromatics in, we have our onions in. Next step is our curry paste. So we have our red curry paste here. I'm gonna put the curry paste in. So what we're doing now is we're toasting our curry paste. What this does is it blooms all the flavors that are in your curry paste. It's gonna bring more aromatics out. So all the lemongrass, all the ginger, all those things that are already in this curry paste, once we start toasting it, it really brings out those flavors. So what I'm doing is, you can hear the curry paste is really starting to sizzle in there. I'm gonna start mixing it around with all my onions. I'm really starting to build a base for what my finished product is gonna be. All right, do we have any questions?
So far.
No questions, all right. So we got that going. And then here we have 2 cans of our coconut milk. I'm just gonna look to see that all my curry paste is broken up. All right, we have a nice coating of our curry paste on all of our onions in here. And we're gonna add our coconut milk in. We're gonna give it a stir. So at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crank my heat up. what I want to do is I just want to bring it up to a boil really quick. And then as soon as I see it's going to start boiling, I'm going to reduce it down to a simmer. Probably I'd put my flame somewhere in between medium and low. You can see our coconut milk's really starting to get infused with our curry paste here. And we're going to leave our aromatics in there all the way till the end. Because as this starts to cook, as this starts to simmer, we're going to get all those flavors from here. It's starting to already infuse with our coconut milk. We have a great base.
Chef Josh, how much garlic are you using?
For this, there is 2 ounces of garlic in there. So we're starting to come up here. Has anyone on this call made curry before? Made red curry, green curry? Yeah, we have. All right, awesome. So a lot of people think curry is really difficult to make. This is something you can really use to impress your friends. It's a really easy pickup, and it has so much flavor in it. It's really versatile. At this point, if you're going to serve it with rice, have your rice cooking ahead of time. All right. So our proteins that we're going to be using for today. Take a look at these. So we have some. Excuse this back. All right. So we have some beautiful mussels here. These are from Washington. Really nice. We have some jumbo prawns. And then we have some local squid. These are from Monterey. So what I did was I pre-steamed all of this product ahead of time. We're gonna look at the curry real quick. So we're up to a boil now. We're gonna go down to like a medium low. We're just gonna let this go for a little bit. We wanna get all those flavors out of our sachet, make sure our onions are nice and soft. Really let these flavors develop. So I pre-steamed all of these proteins ahead of time. What I do when I steam them is I don't hammer them. So I don't just steam the living daylights out of them and then throw them in my curry later. I'm really specific about how far I cook them because these are gonna all go back into our curry after our curry's finished, and we're gonna cook them and bring them back up to temperature again. So if our shrimp gets overcooked, they're gonna have a lot of grit to them. They're gonna be mealy. You know, the mussels, they'll get very tough. The calamari, as we've all had squid before, the squid can get really tough. So what I did was I lightly steamed everything just to the point where it was cooked through. I cooled it down immediately, put it in an ice bath, and then I cut my squid up. I took my mussels. The mussels you're not going to put in water because you don't really want to wash off that mussel flavor. The mussels, what I did was I just put them in a container and I put them in my fridge and cooled them down as quick as I could.